What's up, Brooke? What's up, Bruno? What's up, Bruno? Make some tapping. I did a little bit of tapping there. I saw your message. Thank you, thank you. As much as I love my Jackson guitars with dual humbuckers, there's so much to be said about those single coils. Just very awesome tone. Yeah, I like single coils. You know, it cuts through in a certain way. You know, I feel like there's just a lot of dynamics and like feel in it. Like I don't mean that in just like a blanket statement. Like I feel like there's just a lot more. You can hear a lot more of your fingers out of the single coils than like humbuckers. Maybe I don't know. But then again, there's a lot of great humbucker players that you know you get a lot of feel out of. But you know, I don't know. Maybe it would sound better with single coils. Learn Reaper to remix an old song. 3D printing a new handle for a crock pot lid. Those are two different things, but two very awesome things. I always love hearing like a 3D printed solution. I was watching a video on somebody's streaming setup, Artosis, StarCraft player, and his wife made a 3D printed, it's like a coffee cup holder or something. Or no, it was for a auxiliary input for like his headphones, like iPod, iPhone earbuds or whatever. I thought that was like really clever for his desk, you know, so he doesn't have to like reach around for like the computer or something. So it's like, that's pretty cool. That's a handy thing. All right, this one's a Masayoshi Takanaka inspired backing track. If you guys got like a request or something, I'm down to like learn a track or, you know. 125-2 win-loss ratio, dial-up 56K original StarCraft. That's where my handle comes from, and I'm No Mercy Clan Rook. I've never played over this track before. track needs like a section where it goes like a different feel. It's a bit too samey sounding. It's all right, but it's like a bit too samey. All right, let's see. City Pop Fusion Neo Soul. I want like a fast one. Castle Rock asked for a little Tom Morello, so you know, did a little bit. It was on beat, right? So there you go. guys know that song. Whatever I played right now sounded like what Sega would add to their game. It's like a... What's up, Cinema Plug? Just playing some stuff. Playing some stuff. Any Satriani or Santana on deck? Let's try a Black Magic Woman. This one said Fleetwood Mac, but still, you know. Let's see. Satriani. I don't know. Let's see. Allman Brothers Jessica. My guitar teacher from a long time ago was showing me that one. I never really, you know. Oh, Bruno, thank you for subscribing on YouTube, by the way. And something. Let's see. Is there one with chords? I'm in a lazy, it's like it feels like a racing track. It feels like a NASCAR track, Jessica. Let's see. Is there I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but we're just gonna try this. Yeah, I kind of forgot Ice 9. Let's see. Let me try. Oh, I don't know Satch Boogie. Let me try this. I forgot everything. Actually, I don't even know if I ever like really knew that one. How does Jessica go? Allman Brothers. Hang on, hang on. You know, it's great because I don't have the harmony track. This is Jessica Allman Brothers. The Almond Brothers. Yeah. The Almond Brothers. Almond Joy. Do you eat Almond Joys when you listen to the Almond Brothers? The coconut and almond chocolate candy. Little bit of a story. It's not really a story, but like, I was walking outside today, and I was stretching my neck, and I got pain in my neck. You know, being a guitar player and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels like a pinching pain, and it feels like some of the discs in my neck are like not aligned properly, and I've not really done anything about it. You don't enjoy Almond Joy? Oh, come on, man. You gotta live life. Have some coconut and an almond and a little chocolate treat. I mean, it's not a first pick, but I mean, I'll eat them. Yeah, I was like stretching my neck. I was doing this like this kind of stretch, and like I felt stuff moving in my neck, and like I haven't felt that in a while. Like, yeah, I get like pops and stuff, but this time I actually felt like sinews and like, I don't know, bones and stuff. Like, actually, like, I don't know, it felt like it was actually adjusting properly, and like I can turn my head without as much pain. Yeah. Eat fruit, drink water. Yeah, I eat fruit. I drink water. Um, but it's just been like a problem for a long time, you know. But like today, it just felt like I actually like, you know, like I had like an actual positive result, you know. And I hope it like stays like that for a bit, you know, because like being able to do that without like much pain, it's really nice. It's really nice. But yeah, like it feels like something is kind of just getting in the way. Um, I don't think things are fusing together. I mean, I stretch, I move, I you know, try to move it around and stuff, but anyway, that was something. All right, let's kind of just jam. Yeah, we ain't getting any younger. I mean, I'm gonna have to stretch forever. I just need, what I really need, I need like a machine that just like grabs my neck and then just spinal decompression. Not hanging, not hanging, nothing like that. Just spinal decompression. Just a little bit. I mean, this is over 20 years of headbanging. I mean, that's the result of that, and you know. But yeah, it's probably just yeah, in 3 months we need to see me doing David Lee Roth flips. Yeah, I got to be doing David Lee Roth flips. Let's do a Kiss Love Gun. Extra well audification. Is this some down tune piece of crap? No guitar. Okay. I want to call it piece of crap. I don't know. Let's see. I like that the uploader is like somebody's phone number. That was extra welt oddification. Extra welt oddification. Is this like a German, like a synth thing, or like a dark wave something? What is that? What do you call it? What do you call this? Berlin synth. Berlin synth. Something like that. Do agro bop, agro industrial Berlin synth, agro industrial dark synth, dark German synth. I think like if you just like come up with like enough combinations of like buzzwords or something, like you can describe every electronic artist, and you know, I think they'll just be like happy that their music is being described as anything, you know. Oh, this is like aggro boppy industrial, you know, sewer synth. It's like, oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'm exactly that. Thank you. Breakcore. I don't know. Agrocore demon dirt synth. Agrocore demon dirt synth. Dream Evil. Oh yeah, I mean I don't know if I've heard of the band, but you know, I've heard the song. They're shreddy, but not quite like Yngwie and Ross. Been doing my homework. I've known their hits and Dragon Slayer album. Evil Eyes has struck me now. Anyway. This is another extra welt track called Super Track. I'm just going to click it, see what it sounds like. Sales of Charon? Zombies in Miami, Mithril. Ooh, Mithril. You're full of a lot of surprises for Pagans. Be right back. Let me grab a soda. I'm back. If you're new to the YouTube stream, I'm Ross Dixon Ellis. I'm from Virginia and I play guitar, play games. I'm currently working on an album, trying to get a demo done before TwitchCon. I'm going to be doing some IRL streaming in Vegas the week before TwitchCon. And I'm going to be hanging out with my friend Justin. And yeah, I'm playing all kinds of music, so subscribe if you haven't. I stream pretty much every day. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So yeah, usually playing a lot of metal and stuff, but you know, I'm kind of getting the feelers out for other things, you know? A quarter of my life. I don't know. I don't know how views and hours are counted. I just know it's slowly ticking up. And, you know, posting shorts and clips. And I think it's working. I mean, people are following and people are sometimes showing up. It's a lot harder to get monetized on YouTube than Twitch. Twitch, it's super easy. You just get affiliate, and then they just forget about you. They throw ads at you. And, you know, Twitch is still just going to, like, lose a ton of money. You know, I don't know. But it's growing. Like, Twitch is growing because I, like, raid out to people. And then, like, they'll follow me, and maybe a couple of their viewers might follow, depending. And sometimes people find me. Some of them do the insane task of clicking on a category and then clicking low to high viewers, and then they find me. And it's like, whoa. So, I don't know, like I'm just showing up every day. I'm just working on my art and trying to make, you know, something happen there. you know, it it's whatever. Like, I'm gonna be turning on the stream whether anybody's here or not, because I gotta make my album. I gotta make it. So been working on it every day, and it's just, yeah, that's just what I've chosen to do. So I think I have some songs shaping so far. I think I've got a few. I've been like taking notes and stuff. I need to refine them. So this is gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna be the fun part, but it's kind of like nailing the structure and nailing the certain sections, and then writing some lyrics and singing and trying to get something done. Then that'll be kind of, hey, the demo's done. Then I can try to get collaborations. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take out my vocals. I'm going to get somebody different to sing. Maybe I'll hit up Sky Citizen. He's a great singer. Maybe I'll hit up somebody else, you know? Maybe I'll hit up Psychoface. Maybe I'll get him to play drums. Like, apparently he's a drummer. And then hit up my friends for like some guitar solos and stuff. You know, I wanna collaborate with a bunch of people. Maybe hit up Ray Martinet for some bass. Like, hey, I finished this, but maybe I get you to play on it. I don't know. Like, just hit up some people. Maybe I hit up Brendan Small. Just be like, hey, Brendan Small, you did a thing called Shredliest of the Week, and I got that once, a million years ago. And, you know, you're my hero. You want to play on my album? You've inspired me. And then, you know, do that. I don't know. But idea there, it's like, hey, they go, hey, we played on Ross's album. Get his album. Because we play on it or something, you know. I made it better. It's possible. The album. Yeah. Well, and like, I wanna get this done, and then just hit up people and see, hey, you want to get on the album, you know? And the thing is, I've recorded for some other people. Warrior Pope, they're doing an alt take album. I did like 4 or 5 tracks. So, you know, that'll come out. I don't know when, but that's kind of where my playing is also going, and I think it's going to sound pretty cool. Inspired, even. They're a UK doom metal band, and you know, so I wanna get this done. I wanna get this done. Hopefully by October. So I want to have a little bit of time to play around. Maybe, I don't know, kind of not necessarily like need a break, but I need to, you know, I need to kind of get outside and, you know, break up my routine a little bit. Vegas will definitely break up the routine. But I want, yeah, I kind of need like a little more, you know. I mean, I don't, like, I'm working on it every day, but it's also like, yeah, but you're not doing that much. But I'm also streaming. I'm also, you know, playing and doing some other things. First Sabbath album. Yeah, they're very, I mean, it's very Sabbath, you know. It's got some noise, it's got some other sentiments in there. And their latest album is The Morbid Parody of Justice, something like that. And it's kind of like a historical thing. It's got like a historical theme. Pope Formosus in the was it 9th century. They put him on trial, even though he was dead. They put out his cadaver, and it was kind of this phony trial thing, you know, the Pope after or whatever. And so they're kind of talking about that. It's it's kind of like Warhammer inspired as well. You know, so maybe I'll hit them up too. But I want to get the demo done first. I don't necessarily want to collaborate right now because immediately now it's like, well, I'm working on this every day. If somebody else is like, yeah, I'll get to it when I want to, I'm not going to wait on anybody. I'm just going to do everything right now, and then I'll hit them up later once it's like done. It's like, hey, the demo's done. You know, and then, you know, hit them up after. Now, and then the other thing, so since I've been writing a lot of riffs, a lot of them aren't being used. And as somebody would say, oh, that's a waste of time. You worked on a bunch of, you know, I mean, no, I make art. I'm going to be prolific. I'm not just working on one thing. I'm working on a bunch of songs. So the iterative process is working on a lot of songs. And then they all kind of get done a little bit later. What if it's Jeff Scott Soto himself? I bet he'd do it. I wonder what his price is. I don't know if I'd drop $5,000, but I mean, it'd be insane if he, you know, I mean, he'd probably make one social media post. But I mean, hey, you know what? That's a heavy hitter. That'd be a heavy hitter. Terry Ailu, you know, somebody like that. But anyway, working on a lot of songs. The unused stuff, I'm going to probably put that in my guitar course. Because I have an outline of a guitar course. And I have like the starter pack on my Patreon. You know, and the guitar course is a little bit separate. The unused riffs will go on that. It'll be used as like a study, you know? And then I'll also have like riffs from the songs, you know, from the album. I think this is a stronger step forward than just working on a guitar course and then releasing a generic guitar course. No, I want to have an album behind it. I want to have an album. It's like, hey, you know what? I've done it. And here's the instructional. Along with what you want to do. Because I think what I've come up with so far, it's like, I'm Joey. Thank you. I try. You know, it's I'm gonna keep trying to sing. I'm gonna keep trying to sing. Because I think that's a skill that I've neglected for a while, and the more I attempt to sing songs, it's just better to become a more well-rounded musician. I can hit notes. Now, having good tone, hitting notes, I mean, being a background singer or something like that, I mean, yeah, I could do that. But having good tone, as like a frontman type thing, well, I want to sing exactly like Joey Tempest, but I can't. So I'm just going to go for it and try my best. And maybe through experience, I'll get a little bit better control, vocal control, like breathing and stuff. Yeah, but I mean, I think the singing will take some time. I mean, I don't know exactly how I want to go about it. Or like how elaborate I want, you know, the lyrics and stuff. I think I may go very simple. Black metal kind of style where it's just like repeating something that sounds brutal, something like that. Or I might go for a more 80s style on some songs because they kind of have that vibe. Um, Maybe I'll sing in Japanese. Um, that's an extra layer of challenge. Um, and so yeah, so songs, working on a lot of songs. Unused stuff will go on the guitar course. Get a demo done for TwitchCon. Network with people at TwitchCon. Try to get them on the album. Collaborate or something. And, or just have fun at TwitchCon. But I think another motivator of like talking about the music, it's like, yeah, I want more people on the music. If it's done and if it sounds good, if it's a good demo, then that might get people on track. So and then and I think Unofficial Air, if I sing a Japanese album, well, it just makes it different. It makes it different. I mean, how many American guys are making a metal album and singing in Japanese and like doing that? I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody. Blaze Bailey. Who's Blaze Bailey? Mobs Mabley? Who's Mobs Mabley? Yeah. So, I don't know. It makes it different. It makes it different. I don't know if that's like, I don't know how this stuff works. I'm spamming clips. I'm spamming videos. I'm spamming live, spamming songs, and I'm doing it all myself right now. And so I don't know. I have no idea if going for something different. It's just kind of like 2 albums with Blaze. One of them's good. Hey, if you got one good album, that's all you need. So, as far as the streams and like, I mean, it's like I think I'm on pace. I'm on pace to create a demo. It's up to me how many songs I want to be on the demo. I don't know how many. I've got a decent amount of music. None of them are done yet, but I've got like the foundation set for a few of them. Some are like 2-minute songs. I got like a 3-minute song in there, and I got a 4-minute song. And so it's an okay amount for how much time I've put in so far. I think it's however much time it took anyway. So as far as growth of the streams, I've hit my Twitch goal for the year already at 500. That was originally my goal for the year. So I've already exceeded. I'm at like 532 or 31 or something followers. Half of them? No. I'm like 50% there. Yeah. I would say a couple of them were old riffs. Not a lot. Not a lot. A lot of them were on the spot with no preconceived notion of what I was going to do. It honestly has mostly been live, like just right then and there. And a lot of them I didn't even want to play. It's like, all right, let's see if I can make a riff. And then hit record, play something. Oh, there's something there. So showing up every day has helped. You know, some of it is prompted by the drum beat. It's like, oh, I got no idea. But then, like, you kind of play with the drum beat. And it's like, oh, okay. You take a simple idea, you know, and then it's like, oh, let me adjust, you know, change the thing. Some, Castle Rock, he kind of gave an idea, and I just played something and with a drum beat, and it kind of helped. It's like, hey, play this. And then I added some things to it. So it's like, sometimes a little prompt from the audience can help. So there's occasional things like that. But you have to hit record. You have to play your idea. You got to put it down. You know, a lot of them aren't. Riff Marathon was a good ad. Well, and even if nobody showed up to the streams, I'd clip song progress, and some people liked the riffs. Like they're like, hey, you know, it's just drums and guitar played kind of badly, and it's like, hey, somebody's writing music, and so they subscribe. They're investing early. They're dollar cost averaging. They're dollar Ross averaging. So, I don't know. I mean, YouTube is, like YouTube and Twitch are progressing about the same. Let's just say it's a follower a day. I'm getting one follower every day. So if I show up, I get a follower, one or two. And, you know, so that's just kind of how it works. About 80% of my viewers are new. They're new to the channel. They've never seen me before. How easy you can replace a drummer as a practice mate? You can replace anybody. Everybody's replaceable. But, however, it's not always a good idea to replace people. There's only one of that person. There's only one Ross Dixon Ellis. I mean, that was. I'm not saying I'm entitled to anything. I'm just saying, you know what? Like, if you value yourself to create. I'm not saying I have any monetary value. I don't. In fact, I don't even care about that. I don't care about it this year particularly. This is about creating. This is about networking with people. This is about creating experiences. If you value yourself, I don't mean a monetary thing. I mean in your ability. If you find value in your ability, what is my ability? Well, it's a tool. It's a tool. It's a tool to use. I'd prefer. I mean, in some ways, I can browse a bunch of different grooves without actually having to explain it. I'm just going through a catalog. I could set it to any tempo. Very powerful. But it may not be exactly what I want. A drummer with great intuition can hear my riff, or even a half-baked riff, and perhaps come up with something even better on the spot if they have great intuition. That's what makes them special. Or it might even be different than my vision, but the sum of the two players, when in harmony, when in sync, creates something even cooler. And if you're riding the creative wave, if you're just kind of in the playful creative state, it's very good. It's very fun. And that's where it's like even better. But you know, use an easy drummer. It's like, oh, I don't have to like explain anything. Hey, this beat right here, can you play something? Like, I can just throw something down and it maybe gets 80% of the way there, and then I have to adjust things. And that is harder for me because I'm not really a drummer. But I understand rhythm and music, and I can play a riff and place it for the most part exactly how I want it, and then I can like adjust. And it, you know, but there's a lot of parameters there: velocity, groove, tempo, and you know, just a kit choice. You know, all that stuff I don't really have control over, and I lack maybe enough understanding, but to really make it sound amazing. So this is where I'd hand it off to somebody. It'd be like, hey, can you do something better than what I programmed here? Something's not lining up, but you know, I don't want to do this. Maybe I'm like, I have some situations where I'm having 5 events happening at once, and a drummer can't physically do that because they have 2 hands and 2 feet, and you know, where's their third stick coming from? Wait, no, yeah. So for now, this is the creative exercise: was create as many ideas, try to capture as many ideas as I can in this style, in a metal style, tech death, thrash, black metal, death metal. Low high notes, I don't understand the difference between velocity. Velocity, more like dynamics, like low volume, high volume, hard, soft, that kind of thing. But that's like extra, it's a little bit too much for me to like worry about right now. Yeah. But now I have a bunch of ideas. They aren't refined. It's charcoal, you know, you try to make diamond. I have a question. If somebody put a diamond in a bag of charcoal, would you buy more charcoal? If you heard about this like thing. Curious. Anyway, yeah. So I have a bunch of ideas. Now it's like, okay, let's finish the skeleton. I think the danger, spending too much time trying to finish and make a perfectly refined thing. I think I just need people pay a good money for bulk charcoal as it is. Okay. So I think one of the dangers I'm kind of running into, or I need to be concerned about, is maybe spending too much time trying to finish and like perfect a song. I think like just get them finished, get them set up, play it competently well, adequate. That way I have everything done in a workable state. And then obviously I want to play as well as I can. But I want enough songs to show. So I think have them be, top notch and, best foot forward. That may come after the demo. But I want really good demos. I want to make the demo as strong as possible with the best of my ability. So it's going to take some time. I basically have like a month right now. So I think I can do it. I think yeah. So I'll probably keep in mind I'm a moron. I think like I'm checking on some of the ideas here and there. This is kind of like the beginning of okay, let's try and set up some of the songs. Can I finish some of these riff ideas? Like I could play maybe a couple from memory. Like, I think that's a strong idea. I don't know what it is, but it's a strong idea. Circle back. Yeah, I'm going to circle back. So, a few of them I know like they're close, and I should just pick the winners, and just kind of go, yep, I can work on this. Yeah, I can work on this. Yeah, this has got legs, and just get those done. What do you think? Say. How many tracks do you think should be on a demo? 4? 4 tracks? 4 songs? What would be like the minimum demo? Obviously people, now, okay, I've been in entertainment. Anybody giving a job, they can hear if they want you within the first 10 seconds. Anyone to argue with? Yeah. Yeah, that'll help. I got a buddy, he sends me some stuff and asks for input, and other musicians. Give them 8, let them be picky, I would assume. I don't know. I'm not necessarily looking for a label. But I want I want to get the idea across. You know, it's like I think work up to 8 maybe. I don't know. Like I got a lot of ideas. I don't think I'm gonna make 55 songs right now. But I think I got like a month. I got like a month. I think the minimum that I'd be like happy, like the minimum to just kind of be like, all right, maybe like 4 songs. I finished 4 songs. I mean, I'll work on more songs, but like by TwitchCon, like, because at some point, I don't have enough time to do everything I want in the world. Well, I think the world is different now. The world is different. There's a lot of ways to go about it. I think if I have a finished product, it's a lot easier to go, hey, this is Red Metal. This is Akagane. I've got songs finished. This is the first album. I need a band to play these songs. Oh, what's the music sound like? Oh, we're going to write music? No, I already got the album done. This is what we're playing. I'm back. I'm back. Holy crap, I'm tired. Maryland Death Fest. So, sometimes everything is wrong. Yeah, but sometimes it's all right. Sometimes everything is okay. Play it later. Yeah, so what was I talking about? I was talking about getting a demo and then getting teammates later, getting bandmates later. Yeah, I think it makes sense. It makes sense right now because everybody's busy. I was talking with my friend Justin about, you know, he was in some bands and, you know, they're like cover bands. They're not professionals. They're like playing at open mics and things like that. And he was worried about them stagnating because like they've been playing the same 3 songs for a few months. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, you need to be playing a lot more songs. It's like, I mean, do you want to like play as like a house band for like a bar or, you know, some venue? It's like you need like 50 songs. You need to be able to play for 4 hours. You need to do 4 sets of 45 minutes of music. at least. You know, that's like most house bands. You got to be that prepared. And a cover band, it takes a lot of organizations. You need to play a lot of music, and you know, like it takes a bit of setup. You know, getting together with some like dads and you know jamming to open mics are 15 minutes. Open mics are 15 minutes. And open band jams are like, they're not long. They're very short, you know. Or if you're in like a festival, you know, you might play shorter sets. But the thing is, it like, they came from like a student band, you know. So, and they're older people, and there's some age differences and different alignment issues, and so my friend was not feeling like he was being heard, and it's like, well, you need somebody who'll take your suggestions. Also, that they need to like work on more songs. They can't just be hammering the same 3 songs and just like trying to expect a different result. It's like you need more experience. You need Okay. All right. I don't know why stuff bad. I mean, maybe it's disconnecting badly. I don't know. Maybe there's problems in the area. I don't know. I mean, it came back. So, we're talking about cover bands. I'm kind of just rambling. Yeah, so I want to have a finished product. I want to have not product, but I want to have a finished piece of art. I want to have a finished piece of art. Somebody said an album is a waste of time. It's like, no, this is all art is a waste of time. You could say it's all a waste of time. Thing is, I'm an artist. I create. I want to make finished work. I want to have beginning, middle, and end. I want to have a visual way to represent that. I want to have, I want to have a production. I want to be able to showcase this in some form. And I want to take it out. So I don't want just one song. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. It's absolutely stupid. You could say the way of the way people consume media has changed. Yes, that's true. But the thing is, people, they turn on playlists. They turn on playlists of various things. It's they have, maybe it's just all from one artist, maybe it's from a collection of artists. The thing is, it's also unrealistic to expect somebody to work on one piece of music, and it's like, all right, just produce a hit. Yeah, go ahead. Just make the viral video, make the viral song or what. It's like, it doesn't work that way. You need to make a lot of music. If I'm a musician, I need to be prolific. I need to write a lot of music to make a good song. You need to put a lifetime of creating songs to be an overnight success. Okay, but that's the monetary thing. I want to have a lot of pieces of art. Personally, I want to create a lot. I want to be prolific. And I want to have a vision of this idea and be able to execute it on all fronts. Musically, visually, artistically. I want to embody it. I want to create the characters. I want to make the world from this, as much as I can. I want to make the instructional. you know? Make it educational as well. So go from various angles. Make the video game, I don't know. Put it in a video game. Give it to a wrestler. Give it to a pro wrestler. Have a pro wrestler walk out to one of the songs or something like that. Why not? Why not? Is that unrealistic? Why do I have to think about, oh, just the one single? No. No. I want to make music that resonates with people. And so maybe there's a lot of ways to do that rather than just simply one simple, we'll just market it. Just market the hit song. That's worse than the old cigar smoking guy, you know. That's worse than the cigar smoking guy, like the old guys. Like those guys, you know, Stephen Flo. So anyway. So I don't know. There's a lot of ways to market it. That just simply is what, paying money and just getting it distributed across more people, getting it in front of people. You know, but really the way to sell it is you have to be passionate about what you're doing, and you have to connect with people. And so it's got to be telling the truth. This is something I made. This is something I believe in. This is something that I put my heart and soul, that I worked in, locked myself in my room every single day and did it live in front of whoever. And then I tried to do my independently as much as I can. So this is the vision from one person trying to speak to the entire world about what red metal is. So this is what the intention is, to create a new genre. So whether I've actually succeeded in that or not, I don't know. But I get to make a lot of music, and it's fun, and I like doing it. So that I'm happy about. I'm happy that I've been, that it's been easy to make music. It's not hard. You know, so anyway, I think, yeah, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. I think just being aware of the deadline that I've put for myself to get it done before TwitchCon, at least as much as I can, will be good. Will be good. Because, you know, I think working on something forever, like, I don't know. People used to just crank out albums. They used to just, like, 3 weeks in the studio, bam, they're done. And then they just snap out an album. It feels like people take forever to release albums. Why? Why does it take so long? Whip them out. You know? So I want to get back to that. I want to whip out an album, and you know, I want to get some people to play with me. I mean, hey, it may take a long time. May take a long time. But I want to get it done and you know, tour. I want to play out. I want to get a band together. You know, people that can play it. Um, and then make the next one, I guess. I don't know. You know, it'd be nice to, do the show. Like, I want to do the show. This is just me. I'm just like rambling. I'm just talking. But like, I want to do the show. I want to do the show. So that's what I really want to do. So I'm a performer. I perform. So um, there are some costume things I'm like looking at and stuff, which I'll probably order soon, probably sooner rather than later. $5K. Um, it, there's a lot of ways to go about this. I guess that'll be another challenge. How do you talk with legends to get them on your album? That'll probably be something. You know, how do you approach legends to get on your album? So, but I think making an album is a good first step for anybody. At least a good demo. So, let's all right. Do I have? I kind of What do I got? I kind of feel like playing. I wonder if I could play Diablo 1. Should I play Diablo 1? Why does it still say Night Rain? That's like fucking up my music category. Like it should be music. What the hell, man? Be right back. Use the bathroom. All right. I'm gonna see if I can run Diablo 1. Let me see if I can do this. It should be able to run. Video settings. Windowed. Oh my gosh. Gauntlet 1. Hang on. Can I move this? All right. We're playing this. All right. I did a solo warrior run years ago. That was a lot of fun. Do I like Fortnite? I played 2 or 3 games of Fortnite. I got like 2nd place on my very first one, and then the next one I got 100th place, and I was like, I quit this game. All right.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my
Ogden
friend.
has owned Ogden.
Ogden.
Well, what can I do for you?
What can I do for you?
Your weapons and armor will...
What can I do for you?
Thank goodness you returned. Thank goodness you returned. Much has changed since you lived here, my friend. All was peaceful until the Dark Riders came and destroyed our village. Many were cut down where they stood, and those who took up arms were slain or dragged away to become slaves, or worse. The
Good day. How may Farnham is a drunkard?
Farm, man. No automat. Down to dungeon.
The
Sanctity of this place has been fouled. Ha! Prime gaming age is 16 to 20. Most intelligent people are too distracted with life, and your reaction time doesn't really get better after 16, 17. So once you're an adult, it's use it or lose it.
Not enough mana.
I think you can make some gains. I mean, it doesn't last forever. There's still older people competing at the highest level in StarCraft 1. You know, people like 40 years old and stuff like that. And, I wonder if it's like the intuition thing where, you know, maybe the reaction isn't there, but your instincts are honed because of repetition, so much repetition, that it's like you're all right or something like that. But yeah, I do think you gotta be testing yourself. MK UFC games, obviously in turn-based, but you only get better. I play chess and Risk now.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen. Well, what can I do for you?
Greetings, good master. Welcome to the Tavern of the Rising Sun.
There's a Ben Feingold,
I serve you?
chess grandmaster. He was talking about like playing tournaments. He's like, ah, kids are good now. They weren't so good when I was playing chess.
What ails you, my friend?
Oh crap. Oh crap. I keep disconnecting. Homeschooled from Wales. So cool. There's some, I've taught a few prodigy level, like, kids, guitar, and they're insanely good. Like, they basically play better than, like, they just play better than me. And it's kind of like, what do I teach them? And it's kind of like, you gotta, like, pull from life experience and stuff. You know, you gotta, like, getting jobs or, like, you know, just inspire them. Just like, hey, you know, really good, and I hope you make the best decisions to stay on path, you know, that kind of thing. Well, maybe like, I feel like prodigies are really good at copying. They're good at mimicry. You know, kids are great at mimicry. And you know, if you can help them just kind of like improvise and be more experimental with their playing or something to kind of develop their own voice, you know, because it's like you can spend a lot of time trying to copy what other people have done, but I mean, they've already become famous doing that thing, and so they're individuals, and you have to kind of help them see that they have their own value for themselves. So it's like, you know, hey, it's cool, you know, you're playing Ingve and stuff. I did that too. You know, you got to take your influences and try to, you know, kind of combine it. You know, are you writing music? Are you like wanting to play in a cover band? Are you wanting to do, you know, different shows where you have to like play other people's music and things like that? You know, it's like the school I was teaching at, I mean, it's good at like kind of helping get to that point. Jump around to everything and get distracted. They never have to be determined enough to become a sword master. Well, if they're not challenged, it's kind of like, if they lack the challenge, you know, they may like move on to something else. They may like get bored, or, you know. So it's like, okay, yeah, we'll work on something really tough, or just something different. You know, it's like, I met somebody who was really into like Ingve music, you know, Ingve's music, and like we were like trading back and forth, and we, you know, like I couldn't really teach him much, but like I could do some things better than he could, but he could do some other things better than I could. So it was kind of like, hey, how are you doing that? You know, like, oh, those two-string arpeggio things, like, oh, I have trouble with that. Like, I could do these kinds of arpeggios better, or I could do these lines easy. He's like, well, I mean, I don't know, that it's like that's tough for him, like just the tremolo picking kind of things, but you know, so it's kind of like finding where we differ in like our styles, which is kind of interesting to do. Kickboxers quit when they're clearly going to stop the champs. Well, it's like if you're... There's some runners, they would rather be in second place for all of the laps except for the final home stretch. Because that's enough for them to like... They have a pace, you know? They can't lead the pack. And so they like limit themselves by hanging back a little bit. But then again, that's like maybe smart to just like be right behind somebody and then like then do that final push and kind of get the jump on them, you know. So if you could develop kind of eyes on the back of your head to stay ahead, or you know, keep a solid pace, or you're playing your own game, you know, are you going by the beat of your own drum? My friend was asking me a question. This is a little off topic, but they're almost so talented they never have to develop the grit. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Like, I understand, like,
my friend?
they might, they haven't been challenged. You know, it's like, okay, well, they play very well. I mean, you could throw all kinds of music at them or something, but it's like, I mean, you just hope that they're not gonna get sucked into a bad deal. Rocky 3. Mickey wanted Rocky to get 10 title defenses rather than fight Clubber Lang because he wanted him to make money for his family. He was looking out for him. You know, Rocky didn't see the wisdom in being a champ who was making money. He wanted the challenge, which, yeah, there's a grit there. But it's like, no, you want the easiest fight for the most money. You're making champ money. You were making $50 at the Smokers. You know? Well, champions, well, yeah, they have an ego. They have an ego. But it's like... You fight the monster. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, their trainer... Well, I mean, like, Mickey was looking out for Adrian. Rocky, you know, probably he needed to be reminded of that. But I mean, he learned that later, you know? It's sort of like the wisdom versus... You know, kind of like being out to prove something or whatever. But then again, it's like, for music, you'll get chewed up. You get chewed up, like your time. Your time is your most valuable resource. So when I talk to people that are prodigies, when I've taught them, it's like there's hardly anything to teach. It's like, hey, there's this little section in Cemetery Gates. I'm like, okay, I didn't practice Cemetery Gates. You're asking about Dimebag Darrell section, and like, yeah, you know, yeah, there's this little section, maybe you didn't quite hear it properly, but it's like, yeah, you're good enough, you could learn that on your own, or I could figure it out right here and see if I'm like good enough. Like, you don't need to teach the entire song, but it's like, are you gonna just do a theater gig for a small amount of money and only be locked into that? You know, it's like, you're young, you could do those gigs, what I'd tell you, that might not be what you want to do in life. And maybe you want to get out ahead of that before you get sucked into a gig that takes away a lot of your time for very little money. It might be that you might not get paid as much money if you write your own music at first. Well, and they may already be disciplined enough. Like, I've had some experience with really, really talented young people. And it's just kind of encouraging them, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Or, hey, have you thought about making a sizzle reel? Like, you film your performances, and then, you know, do you record yourself? Do you write music? Are you in a band? Are you in another band? Rather than just playing covers, are you writing music? You know, I want people to write music. I want people to improvise. I want people to develop their own voice, because the masters were improvisers. Johann Sebastian Bach was an improviser. Mozart was a great improviser as well. And, you know, improvisation is the genesis of composition. So I want people to write music because I think it helps them develop their own voice, whether it's an awkward start or not. You know, it gives them something that they own. You know, some people might not have aspirations for that. I usually find they're a little bit older, but I've had older people write music. You can start at any age. You can start at any age. It's not too late. And, I had an older guy, he was wanting to write a song for his Filipino girlfriend, and he was trying to like keep up. They're doing like karaoke nights and stuff. I was like, yeah, you ever tried writing a tune? And he brought me his tune like the next lesson, and you know, we talked about it, and I was trying to like help him write it, and you know, I was like, yeah, this is like a good start. Maybe you could go here, maybe you could go to this chord, you know. And I liked it. It was honest. It like got him to have a meaningful moment with his guitar, you know. Like, I want people to have a meaningful moment with music, because music is important. It's a meaningful experience. It's a fight, you know. That's a meaningful experience. If you don't prepare for it, it could be bad. You know, if you don't put any passion into what you're playing, it's like, what are we doing? You know, if you're not moving and dancing and playing, you know, it's like, I want people to have fun. You know, it's like whatever it is. It's like, you know, I move around, I dance around and stuff like that, and it's like, hey, maybe that's like goofy or something, but it's like, I'm trying to have a more meaningful moment with music. I'm trying to connect with it more than just playing the right notes. To me, that's one aspect of playing music. That's one aspect of performing music too. You know, there's plenty of people, they play the tab, but how come they aren't selling millions at the stadium? How come they aren't playing to thousands of people? You know, it's like, maybe there's something more to it. Where's my millions? No. That's a good question. But I think even if I'm not playing to millions, I have it in my mind. I give the same show whether it's to 0 people, 1 person, or 1 million people, or rather thousands. I've played to thousands of people before. I've had many experiences playing to thousands of people. Technically, I have performed for millions. Now, I wasn't the main draw. I wasn't, you know, but I've performed for millions of people. It's been broadcasted before. But YouTube, I mean, I've got 500,000 views. My channel, just YouTube. But I mean, you know, that's not the end all be all. That's part of it. It's an aspect of exposure and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know, it's like, hey, if somebody's really good at guitar, you want them to be seen. You want them to be seen and appreciated. You know, I want young people to be successful. So it's like, hey, why don't you make a YouTube channel? Why don't you write music? Why don't you, you know, get a band or something? Like, hey, why don't you move around while you play? Why don't you play this song? You know, just get them looking at different music or something. I don't know. It's like, get them acquainted with other things. It's all dependent on where they're at, though. You know, if somebody just getting on stage is like the scariest thing for them, you know, like maybe like the expectation of where they're gonna be is like a little different. But maybe they have a few shows under their belt. You know, just try to prepare them best you can, and I feel like I have a similar experience every time somebody has like their first show, or like it's been a while since they played a show. It's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That was so quick. That happened so quick. Then they feel kind of silly about like being worried about the show. They're like, oh, why was I worried about this? Like, why did I care? It's like getting the first show out of their mind. Out of the way, you know? It's like, it's what they need.
I have no room.
Have no room. Room. Can't play Tetris right now.
What ails you, my friend?
Well, what can I do for you?
You know, I'm having a lot of disconnects lately. I'm gonna go ahead and raid out on Twitch. Um, seriously, it's still night rain. What the heck? I tried changing it. All right, I'm gonna whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna raid out.
Actually control your mind. Breathe in, breathe out.
Okay, this guy. Chibi, the shinobi.